If you've been scrolling through endless coffee maker reviews, watching YouTube after effects of people raving about the perfect brew, and still feel stuck wondering which machine actually fits your kitchen or office, you're not alone. The market is saturated with single-serve pods, high-tech espresso rigs, and ultra-large commercial brewers, and the middle ground can feel like a mystery. I spent a few days watching how the Bunn Axiom 153 behaves in a real-world setting, first in a home office where the coffee demand is constant, then in a small co-working space that runs a brew day policy. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Below is the lowdown on why this particular brewer might finally clear the fog. First off, the Axiom 153 is a single brew unit that pulls about 4.5 gallons of coffee per hour, with a 1-gallon reservoir that you can refill on the fly. That translates to roughly 16 cups per hour, assuming a standard 6-ounce cup. In practice, that speed means you can pour a fresh pot for a small group of people every 10 minutes without watching a timer. For a home office with 2 to 3 coworkers, I tested the machine by brewing a pot at 8 a.m., then again at 10 a.m. after a quick refill. The coffee was hot and ready within 3 minutes each time, and there was no noticeable dip in temperature between the first and second pours. Why does that matter? The Bunn brand has built a reputation for thermal brewing, where water is heated to a consistent 200 F before it reaches the coffee grounds. In my trial, the coffee tasted clean and balanced, without the bitter edge that sometimes shows up when a heater has to catch up after a long idle period. That consistency is a practical strength for anyone who needs reliable taste without fiddling with temperature knobs. Now, let's talk about the actual footprint. The Axiom sits on a sturdy base that's about the size of a standard countertop kettle, but it's definitely not a countertop saver. In the co-working space, we placed it on a dedicated side table because the drip tray extends a few inches beyond the base. If you're working in a cramped kitchen or have a tiny break room nook, you'll need to budget a few extra inches. That's a trade-off you might overlook when you're only looking at brew speed. Another practical point is the water source. The machine uses a removable 1-gallon reservoir rather than a direct plumb line, so you're not tied into a permanent water hookup. That makes installation a breeze. Just fill the tank, press start, and you're good to go. However, it also means you have to be diligent about refilling. In the office test, we noticed that after about 3 cycles the tank emptied, and a quick refill was required. If you're the type who forgets to top up water, you might end up with a half-filled pot and a frustrated team. The upside is you control the water quality. You can use filtered water each time, which can improve the taste and reduce mineral buildup inside the brewer. Cleaning is another area where the Axiom shows its practical side. The drip tray and brew basket pop out without tools, and the interior is smooth enough that a quick rinse with warm water clears most grounds. There's no hidden, hard-to-reach coil that needs a yearly deep clean. Still, the machine does have a stainless steel heating element that, over months of heavy use, can develop a thin layer of scale if you use hard tap water. That's not a deal breaker, but it's a maintenance point you'll want to keep on your radar. A simple weekly descaling with a vinegar solution keeps it humming, and the process is documented in the user manual. Who should consider buying this? If you run a small office, a boutique co-working space, a home with several coffee-loving family members, or a low-volume CAF that wants a reliable drip brew without the complexity of a larger commercial system, the Axiom hits a sweet spot. Its speed and consistency let you serve coffee on demand without the lag you see with slower homebrewers. The ability to use any ground coffee you prefer, organic, dark roast, singly origin, means you're not locked into a pod ecosystem, which saves money over time. On the other hand, if you're a solo coffee drinker who only makes a cup or 2 a day, you'll likely find the 1-gallon capacity excessive. A single-serve machine or a small pour-over setup would be more space-efficient and possibly cheaper. Similarly, if you're chasing latte art or want a built-in grinder, the Axiom doesn't cater to that. It's a straightforward drip brewer, not an espresso machine. So those who expect programmable brew cycles, auto shut-off timers, or Wi-Fi connectivity will be disappointed. The price point, while not disclosed here, lands in the mid-range for commercial-grade brewers. The rating on Amazon sits at 4.4 out of 5 stars from 75 reviewers, indicating that most users are satisfied with the performance and durability. The few lower-scoring reviews typically mention the same issues: size, need for regular water refills, and occasional scaling that we've already covered. In other words,